Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how I block in some basic forms of a dash cam. So this is the real life picture of this. So I will model based on the image reference. And in here you can see I have the lower piece, the upper front, and the lower back, and the upper back. And you can see I also, and in between, I also have some nice fillet. And I will curate in the upper one using surface. So hope you enjoy the tutorial. Okay, so you can start by download this file in the video description. So first I will create, in the project bench, I will create a new sketch in the front view. And I will create the bottom piece first. I start by creating a rectangle. Start from here. To about here. And we set the dimensions. Set this one to 135 and this one to 28. Now the sketch is fully constrained. I close, and then I will revolve this sketch. Go to the revolve, and in the default setting is the z-axis. Click OK. Now we finish the first piece. I create another sketch in the front. I build the wireframe, and I create another rectangle, something like this. And we set it, I will position it to about here. And we set the distance from this point to the red line 60, 62. The length of this line will be 25 or 22. And the distance from this point to the green line will be 40. I will create in another rectangle, something like this, on this line. And I using the trim edge to remove this line and this line. Okay, now I will select in this point and this point. I hit H for horizontal, and I will select in this line and this line, hit E for equal, and set the length of this line to 1. I set the length of this line to 8.3. So you can see it now. I need to set the horizontal constraint to this line. So I click on this line and I hit H for horizontal. And I will keep these 2 points inside here. Then I close. And I will revolve this one. And I click on select reference. I click on this line and OK. Okay, let me view the plot line. Now I will select these 2 and I go to union. Okay. And selecting this line, and this one, and go to the fillet. Let's try 0.5. And also select these 3. This one, it's a little bit hard. This one, and this one. And fillet it. 0.2. Nice. Okay. Now we'll rename this one lower. Next, I will create the upper one. But you can see the upper one offset of a little small gap with the lower one. So I need to offset this one up to 0.5 mm. I create a new sketch on the top view and offset this one to 0.5. And I will create in half of circle. I create center arc. Start from here. Selecting this point, and this line. Hit C to snap it. And we set the radius to 28. Something like this. 28, close. Okay, now we have half of the circle. Now up here, I need to create another slot, but I need to know the width of the slot. So I will create a new sketch in the front, and we create a line somewhere in here. And make sure this line have the vertical constraint on it. And I will set the length of this line to, yeah, I think 98 is good. And the distance from this point to the green line will be 50, 52. The distance from this point to the red line will be 118. Okay. Now I can close. Now I will know that this line is away from the center line is 52. Close. I will create another sketch in the right view and I offset this one to 52. And I will reference this line. I will create a slot. Something like this. And make sure this line have the vertical constraint on it. I select this point and this line, I hit C to snap it. Now I move this point down and this point down. Okay, just make the slot smaller. Then I select this arc and this point. I hit C to snap it. Doing the same this arc and this point. The point of the line, hit C. And then I need to set the distance between this line and this line will be 56. Okay, and because I just want half of the slot, so that I will create a line in the middle. And I'm using the trim edge. And make sure this line is longer than the slot. Then I'm using the trim edge. And I remove the right. Maybe I should select in this line and delete it. We should reconstrain it because we just lost the constraint. I hit D and I set the distance between this line and this line again, 28. And the radius of this one to 28. So we will have 2 degrees of freedom. Because you can see I can still move this point. So I select in this point and this point. I hit V for vertical constraint. And up here, I just move this point away and selecting it. And selecting this point, hit V for vertical constraint. Now the sketch is fully constrained. I close. And let me hide this line. So this is what we have. Half of a circle and half of the slot. So now I go to the front view. I need to create two curves This the first one, and this is the second one. Okay. So I will create a new sketch in the front view. And I will reference this arc. Sorry. Undo that. This arc. And then this line and then this line. Okay. And then I will create this splice. And we start from here. The first point in here. The second point in here. The next point somewhere in here. And the last 2 points in here and in here. So we need 5 points for this curve. 2 points to control the tangency in here. And 2 points to control the tangency up here. And the middle point is for the curvature. So selecting this point and this point, hit V for vertical. This point and this point, hit H for horizontal. And I selecting this point and move it up like this. And move this point out a little bit, somewhere around here. And I will set the distance from this point to this point is, let's try 25. From here to here. Let's try 35. And from here to the middle, 100. From here to the green line, 31. Yeah, I think that's good. Come down here, create another B-splice. Start from here. The next point in here, the next point in the middle, and the last 2 points in here. Selecting this point and this point. Hit V for vertical. Select this point and this point. Hit H for horizontal. And put the middle point in between like this. Selecting this point and hit D and set it to 7. The distance between this point and this point will be, let's try 9. And the distance from this point to the red line, 16. From this point to the green line will be 30. Yeah, I think it's good. Then I close. Okay, so next I will join this arc, this line and this arc to be a single curve. Okay, and after I have this single curve, I will extrude this one to have a surface. And I will use this surface to make the tangency of this surface. Okay, tangency in here. First, I need to go to the curves workbench. And I will control selecting V3 in sequence. And I go to the joint curve. Now let me hide the sketch 004 and we have a single joint curve. Now I need to create an extrusion. So first I selected this sketch 005 and I want to extrude it in the y-axis to the back. So I go to the part workbench and extrude this one in the y-axis. Click OK. And 10. Click OK. Now we have 2 surfaces. I click on the joint curve and I want to extrude it in the x-axis, which is the red one. Go to extrude and extrude this one in the x-axis, +1, and let's go to 10. Click OK. Now I click on this arc. Let me hide the lower selecting the lower and height. And I click on the arc, go to extrude, -1 in the z-axis. Click OK. Now if I go to the surface workbench and go to the filling tool and starting to fill the surface, select edges in sequence. You can see now I cannot create in the surface. Let me cancel that. So instead of create surface directly, I will separate it in half. So I will separate this one in half and this one in half. So that later I will create a plane curve in between and fill in this surface first and this surface later. Okay. So in order to separate them, I need to control select this one and this one. And I go to product workbench and go to the product compound and make compound. Now we have a single compound. Go to the front view and I will create a new sketch in the front. And I will create in 2 lines. The first line on the green line. Okay, and the second line horizontal like this. And I build a section. I reference this line and then this line. Okay. And I select in this point, and then this line, and I hit S, and then I hit S for symmetry constraint. Then I close. Now I select in the sketch 006, go to extrude, let's try 100. Symmetric, okay. Next, I will control select the compound and in the extrude later, go to the part, split, and then slide to compound. The next step is I want to create in plane curve. So let me go to the surface workbench. In the surface workbench, I control selecting this edge first and this edge later. Go to the plane curve. Go to the front view. I click on the plane curve and I want to turn that into a straight line to see what's going on. I zero out the start size and the end size to turn that into a straight line. And I want to keep it G2 continuity. Next, you can see in the first edge and in the second edge, we also have the wrong position in here. So I go to the start parameter and change that to 1. So now you can say now in the first edge have the correct position. Doing the same with the end parameter, set it to 1. And now I will slowly increase the start size to 1. So 1 is good. And I want to increase the end size to 1. You see, 1 go to the wrong direction. So I go to -1. But later I want to create in some fillet in here and down here. So I need to increase the size a little bit more to have the fillet in the future. Okay. So I will increase the start size to 1.5. So you can see the tangency, the curvature is now longer. And the end side, I also put it -1.5. Something like this. And I also want to extrude this one to have surfaces to control the tangency. First, I will extrude this one to the right and use that for the surface in the left. I click on the plane curve, go to the product workbench and extrude this one to the S-axis. positive one and click OK. And rename this one to far left. Go inside here, selecting the blend curve and extrude this one to the left. Positive one in the x-axis and click OK. And I will call this one far right. Now I will hide the far right. Now I go back to the surface workbench and go into the filling tool and starting to fill the surface. Select edges in sequence. And selecting each edge, choose the face and G1. Click OK. See, now the surface is working fine. Let me hide the far left and let me show the far right. And I will rename the surface to the left surface. Okay, let me hide the left surface. Now I will fill this surface down here. Go to the filling tool again. Select edges in sequence. And select each edge. Choose the face and G1. Now I will hide the far right and I show the left surface. Okay. I click on the extrude and hide it. And also I hide the slice. I shift select the issue and I go to the product workbench. Go to the mirror. Mirror this one in the S and Z plane. Okay, now I go to the surface workbench. And again fill in. And select edges in sequence. Filling. Now I will go to the curves workbench and hit Shift B. Select all of these surface. Go to parametric solid to create a new solid. So you should have a green solid in here. The next step is I want to separate this one in half. Go to the brush workbench. Create a new sketch in the front view. I view the section. Create a rectangle. Something like this. And touching the red line. And selecting this line, this point, and the center line, hit S for symmetry constraint. And set the length of this line to 0.5. And make sure the rectangle is longer than this object. Then I close. I will extrude this one to 100. Symmetric. Okay. Now I will control selecting this solid and this extrude later. Go to the part, split, and slide apart. Now we have a folder and we have 3 pieces inside. I select the middle piece and hide it. Okay. Now it's time to creating some fillet. I select the first piece and hide it. And go inside here, selecting this line. And go to the fillet. Let's try 0.5. Select this one. Fillet it with 0.5. Also, this one, select it, 0.5. And I also want to select in this face, create a new sketch based on this face, and creating a slot, something like this. Let's bring this one down. Let me set the selecting this point, and the center line. Hit S for symmetry constraint, and set the length of this line to 40, and the radius to 20. Then I close. Let's do this one to show. Positive one in the x-axis. Click OK. And let's go and selecting this one and this one. Go to the union. Selecting this edge and this edge. Go to the fillet. Point show. Something like this. And we call this one upper front. And let me show the first one, the slide 001.0. And also I hide the upper front. I selecting this edge, go to the fillet and 0.5. Selecting this edge, go to the fillet, also 0.1. And I want to create this small detail in here. Go to the front view, create a new sketch in the front. View the wireframe, creating a slot. Set the radius to 4. The length of this line to 6.5. And the distance from this point to the center will be 8.6. Distance from here to the green line will be, let's try 3.5. I create a line like this. Selecting this line and this point, hit C to snap it. Using the trim edge to remove this piece, this line and this line. And I also selecting this arc, and then this line. And I turn that into construction geometry by hitting the hotkey G and N. Okay, let me show you. And I will create arc, 3 points arc, from here to here, up here, from here to here, up here. Selecting this arc and this arc, hit T for tangent. This one and this one, hit T. Now the sketch is fully constrained. I close. And I will revolve this one. Click on the sketch, go to the revolve. Click on select reference and selecting this line. Okay. Let me show the flat line. And let's go and select in the revolve, go to the transform. And translation increment, set it to 1. Move it in the y-axis. Somewhere around here. Click OK. And I control select in the fillet and the revolve. Later, I go to cut. You can see now I have a problem with the cutting. So I need to delete the cut. And in this case, I need to move this revolve inside so that the center line will go inside the surface. So I click on the revolve, go to the transform again, and move it inside a little bit more. Okay, something like this. Now we no longer can see the center line. Click OK. And control select in the fillet first and the revolve later, and go to the cut. Now you can see the cut working fine. Now I can select in the edge, go to the fillet. Let's try one. Okay. All right. Now let me show the upper front, and let me call this one upper back. And let me go and show the lower. And one thing I need to do is selecting this edge, go to the fillet with the 5. With 5. Okay. Something like this. If you want, you can also separate the lower one exactly like I did with the upper one. So that's it for the tutorial. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.